Greetings fellow members of the Esoteric Order of Gamers, and welcome to yet another joy of unboxing. And what have we got today in this big box? Well, we've got Smog, Rise of Moloch by Smog, or as I prefer to call them, Come On. And this was a Kickstarter which started about a year ago, and it's arrived only a month late. They've done a good job. I backed everything on this particular game, and I'll tell you why. There was a game called Smog the 13th Hour, and it was by a company called SmartMax, and they had the same miniature designs, or they designed these miniatures in 56mm scale, so large figures. At the time I saw them and I thought they were fantastic because I personally love everything to do with the Victorian era. Mix that with a bit of magic and a bit of horror, and it's just, I love it. Fantastic stuff. Unfortunately, the figures were very expensive because they were large. So a year ago, it seems, or probably quite far back before that, when they started developing it, Simon, or Come On, bought the license for all that stuff, and they came up with their own game. So they've recreated all the miniatures and made some new ones in 28mm style, or 32mm style probably. So when it came on Kickstarter, I was hooked and I got the lot. And here it is, finally a year later. So Smog, Rise of Moloch raised $1,174,130. It had 7,892 backers. And here's my copy. Let's check it out! Ooh, we've got a lovely box, and there's some padding. This is an art book that comes with it. This looks like some coins and dice extras. Arcanist extras, box there. The Embassy expansion. The Wheel expansion. The Mech Asylum expansion. The Dragon expansion. OHMS Gentleman's set. The Baker Street set. And finally, right at the bottom, here it is, the base game Rise of Moloch. So I've got every figure they produced, and I love this style of stuff so much. I'm even thinking of coming up with my own skirmish rules so I can get it on the tabletop. Okay, let's get stuck into this huge amount of content with the core set. Here it is. And it looks very nice. Victorian adventure game. It's 2 to 5 players. It's a one versus many type of format. Let's have a look inside. And I do like this cover design. It's a lovely illustration by Keith Thompson. He's been popping up a lot lately. In fact, he's done all the design work for Planet Apocalypse, which is a Kickstarter that I'm actually working on at the moment, doing some work for Peterson Games. And he's got a fantastic, rich kind of style and great typography. Looks really good. Let's see what it's like inside. Oh, this is very nice. Look at that, a campaign book. Lovely. And I just love this kind of graphic design. Doesn't that look good? It's all lovely and textural and Victoriana. So here's all our adventures. Heaps of stuff there. Chock-a-block. Here's our rulebook. Oh, very nice indeed. Some great illustration. Looks great. Alright, here's a whole bunch of cardboard. We'll check that out in a moment. These are our sort of street tiles that make up the board. We've got some character sheets. Some nice dice, little stand-up thingies, more cards to check out, heaps of little cards, lots and lots there, and then under it all, a box of miniatures. And firstly we have this pack of cardboard. This very nice round track. Love this kind of thing. Very evocative of the era. Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous. Here's another thin sheet, setting London on fire. Another thick sheet. This may be the Nemesis board, I'm not sure. And then we've got a whole lot of floor tiles. Yes, they're double-sided, that's good to see. And I'm really pleased to see this because I didn't know how much detail would be in these, and these look quite nice. Interiors of buildings. This is just the kind of thing, of course, it'd be really nice to start recreating in 3D. And again, there's that idea of a tabletop skirmish kind of war game coming back again. I'm sure this game is great. I'm looking forward to playing it, but just got a bit of a hankering for a full table experience in this style. That's looking weird. Look at that. There we go. Heaps and heaps of counters. And some more counters. Fire. Right. Now we've got these simple boards, which I think are just relatively plain. Oh good, yes, double-sided again, and some more interesting graphics on the back. Looks like a graveyard. Some kind of burning building. It's a little bit photoshoppy. It'd be nice if these were hand-drawn from scratch, but we can't have everything. It's a bit collagey. But that's very interesting. I presume this is rain, the sort of scratchiness over everything, which is an interesting effect. Ugh. That looks grim. Right, here are character sheets, and don't they look great? Look at this, there's also background information about the character on the back. Great illustration, love that stuff. Very nice design. Major Dreadful we have there, Emma Swanson, some kind of strange alien weapon she's holding. Abigail Sutherland, who looks like a ghost. Walter Cavendish, Drago. There are starting characters, but of course in all these expansions I have heaps more. We've got some reference sheets here. Double-sided. And these look like all the bad guys. Nice little reference cards, aren't they great? They almost look like, oh look, they're double-sided, some of them. Except for one. Big illustrations, great design, really good stuff. Loving the look of these. And such distinctive characters, that's what I like about this game. All the characters are really interesting and weird. And check out all these different types of cards. There's so much going on here and they all look great. There's some upgrade cards. These come in different colours for some reason, probably because they go with the different characters. Roll cards. Leader, Bruiser, Bouncer, Scout, Samaritan, Executioner. Here are the artifact cards. And another thing that's great, I really appreciate, here are little illustrations of every artifact. That really brings it alive. I think that's great. And they're really detailed little illustrations too. Very nice. We've got gear. Again, all illustrated. Here's some Arsenal cards, and we've got Common Arsenal, Royal Arsenal, and Expert Arsenal. Even larger illustrations this time. Every single object really brings this alive. Here's a pack of locations. Classic Victorian locations there. got Torment cards. When you might notice it's just started raining outside, which is very appropriate, isn't it, for Victorian England? Shrug it off. Chaos cards. Nemesis powers. We've got some allies. Beautiful illustration work again. Moloch stone equipment, whatever that is. Looks like pieces of some tablet. And finally activation cards, and even the activation cards have the full illustrations of the characters and creatures on them. Great stuff. And finally some nice custom dice, and also as an extra I got some burgundy versions of that, and some plastic coins. So I'm just going to pan past the figures in the core set Rise of Moloch, and because they're in this yellow plastic it's a little bit difficult to see all the detail, but the detail is definitely there and they look really good. I think these are going to paint up fantastically, and it's going to be such a nice change to do something in this genre rather than the usual fantasy and sci-fi stuff. There's Moloch himself, I think. And a whole pack of weird kind of minions. Look at the lovely flowing lines of this figure, isn't that great? Horrible evil little clowns. There's some more. And then we come up to some of the character figures and also some bobbies, English bobbies with funny looking faces. Great figures. Someone transforming into a werewolf. There's our ethereal ghost-like figure. Very nice indeed. Okay, let's have a look at some of this extra stuff. This is a nice big brown box called Arcanist Extras, SMG KS01. What's in here? Well, the Rise of Moloch campaign book Arcanist Extra. Extras. Oh, another mission. Oop, 4 more missions in fact. Very nice. Lots of extra figures, extra tokens, dice, a dice bag. More tiles, more dashboards, more of everything. And this is our mission, another little campaign. Now, since I started unboxing this, I've actually played a game of Rise of Moloch, and I'm happy to report it was excellent fun. It was great fun. It's actually a very simple game, but there's something about the theme and the way all the bits and bobs work together that made it very interesting and very atmospheric. I'm really happy with it. So I highly recommend the game. It all came down to dice rolls, of course, but it was a hoot. Okay, so we've got that. There's a couple more tiles. Double-sided. There's a pit. These look like some kind of alien eggs or something. Ooh. There's a pack of character sheets, quite a few in there. A dice bag. Some more cards. Lots more cards. Some black dice. Some lovely little plastic cog counters, which are used for something or other. They look nice. And of course, lots of figures. So lots of cards in the Arcanist book for all the extra miniatures. And of course, activation cards as well. Good things. And here are the character sheets. Some fantastic, very characterful people who you can fight your battles and play your campaigns with. And I just really love this art style. I don't know who this illustrator is, I must find out, but they do some excellent work. I've looked it up. The artist's name is Christoph Madura, and he does great stuff. Great work. Here's a closer look at the character miniatures from the Arcanist Extras set. Here are some of the other weird and wonderful creatures. Lots more killer clowns. Kind of a spider dude with a top hat. Oh, there's going to be so much fun to paint. Look at that thing in a pram. Right, let's tuck into the expansions. The first one here is called The Wheel. Okay, what have we got here? First we've got an entire new campaign called The Wheel. Expansion rules, we've got curses, this is new. There's a golem and a few other interesting characters. And these are our adventures. Looks good. We've got some more characters. Reverend Dudley and Mrs. Dudley. Some more tiles. More sheets for our allies and agents. Activation cards and curse cards. And of course more figures. Here are the miniatures you get with the wheel. Next up we've got the dragon. This one, the Poison Torment deck is the thing here. It's also got Fu Manchu and his group of minions. Here's our campaign book. Certainly got an astonishing amount of playability here. Mr. Honk and Peachy Carnahan. More tiles. Here are the cards in the Dragon expansion. Some poison cards, some more gear. Activation cards, some Nemesis powers, and here are character miniatures. Also here you've got the alternative miniature. This one here is an alternative for Mr. Honk, which came as an extra. But wait, there's more. Next is the Mech Asylum. Yet another expansion. In this one, the Nemesis is controlling the greatest creator of toys of all time. And mechanical inventions threatening the existence of the Unicorn Club. 3-chapter campaign. Robots, blah, blah, blah. Here's our campaign book. More characters. That looks interesting. more tiles. Here's the good stuff in Mech Asylum. There's our various characters. We've got some enhancements. So there's actually enhanced equipment. There's also upgrades. A few more Nemesis powers. An ally. And our activation cards. And of course some excellent miniatures. Look at this one. Isn't that great? This is fantastic too. And of course a bunch of evil toys. Right, one last big box expansion, and this one's called the Embassy. In this one, the gentlemen will face the most feared weapon of London themselves. The parasite condition brought by the out-of-earth visitors is all around London, and once mutation cards reach the gentlemen, they will interfere in their decisions, and the Unicorn Club will have to work together against the infectors. Ooh. Here's our campaign book. Oh, sewer journeys. Excellent. Oh, quite a bit of cardboard in this one. Nice. Oh yes, sewer tunnels, fantastic. That's what we needed, some sewers. Here we go for the stuff in the asylum. And this time we've got some torment cards. Tasty things like tentacle arms and acid blood and Sixth Sense crab claws. Ooh. Some Nemesis cards and some truly weird miniatures. A stack of infected bobbies. Some spider-like thing. Oh, they're bizarre. Look at that. And our last two boxed expansions are the Baker Street set and On Her Majesty's Service a Gentleman set. Now, fantastically, this little extra set, the Baker Street set, also comes with a campaign book. So there are more adventures, yet more adventures in here. A little mini campaign. And we've got Lord Holmes here with this fantastic weird miniature. Colonel Moran, Irene Adler, who wonderfully is firing off a huge bazooka. That is just great. And Dr. John Watson. A really nice little set. And here's the stuff in this set. We've got John Brown, Suzanne Taylor, who is, I don't know why it's called Susan Taylor, but it's basically Queen Victoria. I think it's Queen Victoria's doppelganger. We've got Master Fox. We've got Colonel Steele, Parvin Khan, a woman with a flamethrower, and Sir Daniel Home, an arcanist. Now the last thing I have to show you is the art book, and I usually don't spring for art books on Kickstarter campaigns, but because I was going all in, I thought I'd better get everything. And I'm glad I did, because I enjoy the artwork in this game so much that it's really nice to have this lovely art book chock full of that artwork. And that, my friends, is it. We've come to the end of this exploration of everything you get in a full support of the World of Smog Rise of Moloch Kickstarter. Hope you've enjoyed this look at all the stuff you get. Don't forget to visit the site at orderofgamers.com because, of course, I'll be doing a rules summary for this excellent game. It's a lot of fun and it's got a lot of character, and I do like character in board games. It's something a bit different. So, highly recommended, and thanks very much for watching, everybody. See you next time.